Hello, I'm back with the fourth installment of the series, as promised, Dynamics 365 connectivity with Power Apps. And this session is going to be a pretty exciting one as we are going to cover a lot of topics which is very much relevant to today's cutting edge Microsoft's offerings with Power Apps and AI. So we would be starting with Power Apps AI models. I will introduce you to how to create different models under different scenarios, situations, how to train them, and how to leverage them with respect to finance and operations. I would also like to show you how what is exactly the fundamental difference between Power Apps AI models with Azure AI models. Under what circumstances should you be using Azure AI model and not Power Apps model, and vice versa. And then I would also be showing you if time permits, like how to create cards in Power Apps, and I would also give you a short introduction of virtual entities, which I would be covering in greater depth in the next session. So much to cover. So why don't I take you straight to the demo without wasting any more time? Let me start with make.powerapps.com when I am selecting the proper environment where I would like to develop my AI models. So on the left hand side, you'd be seeing this AI hub. Just in case you are not able to see it, you can click on more and you can discover all, and you can eventually find out that it is AI hub is right out here, and uh, you can pin it up. So like the way I have pinned up on my left hand side, it's showing like this. So when I click on this, it will be able to show you a lot of pre-built models, as well as a lot of options to customize your models. So it will take a while to get loaded with, yeah. So this is on net. It should look like this: prompts, AI models, document automation. So many options are there. So prompts, I think we have already talked about prompts on episode 2. And AI models is what we are going to talk about. And document automation is also a very fascinating offering from Power Apps, which we will cover on another session. So AI model, if I click on AI models, it looks like this. Let this get open. So there are so many AI models out there. Prompts now have their own section: extract custom information from documents, extract information from invoices, extract all the text in photos and PDF documents like in OCR. Like this, you can also train your prediction. You can make predictions by training the models, which is a kind of a regression modeling, and classify. You can also do classification based on the customer feedback. Predefined categories. You can categorize your classifications like, very good, or is it a good feedback or a bad feedback, like that. And like that, there are so many templates like this. So for now, for our example, what we will do is that we will choose, extract custom information from the documents. Let us begin with this. And it looks like this. So it is showing preview of a delivery order, and you can extract the various information of this delivery order. So here we can see the name, we can see the address, we can see the phone number, we can see various informations. And it is showing on a section like this: extracted information. And if there is also a table located here, it's also able to scoop out that information and show you as a tabular manner. So we can create on this custom model. We can click on this and let it get created in the meanwhile. And it looks like this. So you can click on try the new model version. So if you click on this, what it is going to do is that if you click on this exclamation sign like this, it will show you, like, basically this will enable your model to have the highest cognitive capabilities to understand, to recognize any documents. It is basically having an advanced set of newly added features by Microsoft. And I am going to select from these templates: fixed document templates, general documents, invoices. So we'll select invoices, where we are going to feed in a number of invoices which I have designed just not predefined, pre-formatted or constant formats, but we have various different formats also, and we are going to train our model and let us see like how aptly, how correctly it can recognize a new invoice. So we are going to click on next, and it is going to allow me to select information to extract. So here it's saying that choose information to extract. So I'm selecting on add. I can add text field, I can add numbers, I can add date fields, check boxes, table signature, like that. So for now, let me just click on next, and it is going to let me add the collection of documents here. So I'm going to create a new collection saying that invoices, and let me give a name like this, collection one. We can change this also, and we can add the documents here. So I have already uh, downloaded, or rather prepared some nine or 10 odd documents. Let me show them here, and these are few of my documents which I have already kept it ready. And this is one of the invoice formats. As we can see, there are other formats also I am also going to use, and there's one more format like this, and this is one more type. So basically each invoice is having some kind of an invoice number, which is this, some kind of a total, which is this, the itemization, the item, or the the tabular details of the items that we have purchased, and the taxes, if any is there, it's also there. So like that, we have all these documents, we I have just prepared, for our training purpose. Let me upload this templates to our training model, and let's see how it responds. And I am uploading all these documents here. So these documents will be used to train the model. So it's taking a while to get loaded. Let it load first. And yes, I have uploaded the documents. So if it's showing like collection one with nine documents. So if I click on this, it will be able to show me like these are the documents that I have uploaded. These are the list of the documents which I have uploaded. So I'm just clicking on next and see what happens. So this is where I would be able to label my information. This is where I'm going to introduce my model to explain it like which is what. So say for example, here is my invoice number. It's understanding. This is my invoice date. This is my name is this, and this is my account number is this, with all the table details and all the total details. So this is it is able to understand. On this second one, this second document is unable to understand all the necessary fields. So that's why it is showing as red, but now it's showing as tick marked. So I'm going to the next one, and let me ensure like is it able to understand or not. So yes, it is also able to understand the invoice number, and this is what is basically I can mention it like customer name. I can mention it. So this customer name and customer name like this we can mention, and in the next so I can untag this as vendor address recipient. Okay, and in the next document also let me continue for all the documents in a similar fashion, and once I'm done it will show me like basically all as tick marked, all documents as tick marked. And once I am done tagging, once I'm done labeling all my information, I can click on next. So here it is giving a summary, like it is able to find out like for all the uploaded documents, it is able to find out the billing address, the billing address recipient. Customer id is also has able to identify. Invoice id, it has identified in 9 out of 9 documents. Certain places it has failed to understand what where is purchase order. Obviously we don't need the purchase order, we are talking about the sales invoices. So like that it is able to understand which information is what. Certain information, some levels you can also create on your own. And say for example you also want to introduce a new field known as currency. So you can also train your model like that. So if I click on train, it will take a while to make the model get acquainted with the labels, and so that it can predict in future accordingly. So I'm clicking on train, and let us wait till the training gets over. uh, and once the training is completed, it shows the scores basically. So it's showing us 58% as poor because we have not uploaded enough documents. So yeah, it is, we have uploaded 9 documents or 10 documents, but to make the whole process absolutely accurate, you have to upload close to 20 odd documents, and then you can get scores beyond 70 like that. So you can perform quick tests to understand like how accurately your model is behaving, and otherwise you can straight go to publishing the document. So once you publish this, it will be available to be consumed by Power Automate or Power Apps, or the external applications. And just in case if you are not comfortable with the accuracy scores, or you want to add more fields to your training model, you can always edit the model by clicking on this icon, this button, and it will take a while to take you back to the edit mode, and this will take you here. So it's saying that changing document tab is not possible. Yeah, of course, like you have already selected this model as an invoices kind of a document, a recognition model. You cannot change that. That's fine. So you can go all the way down to your information to extract. So here in this area, in this tab, you can remove or you can keep on adding new fields. Say for example, I want to add a new field here, and I want to say like it's a text field, and I am clicking on next text field, and here if I give a name like currency, I'm adding it here, done. And this currency is a text field which is basically going to the next. And say for example, this on this first document itself, we have this total amount box like this. What we need to do is that we are going to click on this box first of all, and I'm going to do the untagging of it. So if I click on this, it will be untagged. Now what I will do is that I will select the dollar, this sign first of all, whereby it's automatically understanding it's a currency. And then I will again choose this, the numeric part of the box, and I will give invoice total. So as a result, it is understanding like it's a conglomeration of two things, the currency as well as the invoice amounts part. So like this we can keep on addressing this for all our rest of the documents, so whereby yeah, by we could see like for all the documents we have segregated the currency and the invoice part. So say for example, if I go to another document, also here also I have segregated the INR, which is the currency code, and the total amount, which is the invoice total. So like that I have repeated for all the documents like this, and so that finally we can go to next and again check out the model summarization like this. Now it has in all the 7 documents we have currency been identified, and whatever it has not been able to identify, it is mentioning that it's zero. Shipping address recipient is zero, shipping address is zero, amount due is zero. So whatever it has not been able to identify, it is marking it up. And then again I can click on train to get it trained, and it's going to take some amount of time. So yeah, and this training is complete. What I would like to show you is that I have already created one more model. I've already trained one more model, so which is doing the recognition for any kind of purchase order scanners. So if I click on this, it's a similar kind of model, although obviously, as you can understand, the purchase order formats are different. Purchase order, the documents that I've uploaded were different, and this is showing a good 66%. This thing. So I can straight go to the app which I have created for this, and inside this app, I am going to leverage this. Let me open this. Let me open this basically. So this is going to scan and attach purchase order documents. So I'd like to show you how can we call the this model which we have created, this AI model from our Power Apps, and we can upload, we can scan and upload, or rather scan and attach purchase order, purchase order document across or against a purchase order record in finance and operations. So once this gets loaded, let me show you how this can be done. Uh, so till the time it gets loaded, just let's wait for it. And this is the app actually. So it's a very small and very simple app which is basically getting inputs from an uploaded receipt and displaying them on this fields called legal entity, purchase order date, address, and the purchase order amount lastly. So these are all ineditable fields. So essentially you see this is form processor D365F&O, this control. I have named it like this, and from there, once this is uploaded, I can get the values of purchase order. So you see the results. So results is basically an array, the array of, or in fact, it's a JSON, inner JSON of the result of what it is basically reading. And from there, I'm getting the individual value of the fields like purchase order, then likewise invoice date, then address, and then the purchase order total amount, invoice total amount. Like that, actually, I'm getting the values of this from this control. So let me run this quickly and let me try to upload purchase order. This is a purchase order docket which I have just I have created, kept it handy, and uploading this, and it's going to take a while to read the content of this. And once this is done, it is showing in all these values, like it is showing like the purchase order number, the date, and the other fields. So you see, so these are the various fields. If I click on this, the zoom in sign, so it is showing the detected controls which it has been able to find out. So this is how it can be used. The models could be used in your Power Apps. Now the question is, like, the same thing you could have also been able to do by using document intelligence of Azure AI. So why the Power Apps document recognition? Why not Azure AI document recognition? What's the difference between the two approaches? So let me try to explain here. And you have to be very choosy about which one should you use. AI builders are, the Power Apps AI builders gives results in base 64 string, as we would see soon. While if you're using document intelligence, you need to convert the result into base 64 explicitly. If you don't do that, you might not be able to use the result. If you have a plan to to extract the contents of the document that you are reading and upload them or attach them to Dynamics 365 finance and operations records. So you might not be able to achieve that unless you convert them to base 64. So Power Apps AI models do give results in form of base 64. So whereas in Azure AI document intelligence, or which is also known as form recognizers, you have to manually do this activity. Okay, so that is one difference. Another difference is what, like, Power Apps AI models are license based. So as a result of which, no matter how many times you are going to call this, invoke this AI builder models from your Canvas app or from your flow, it doesn't really matter. Okay, but in document intelligence or form recognizer, there are two modes in which you can create a form recognizer resource. One of them is F0, which is free, and another is standard. So standard has cost variations, and F0 is free, like, but unfortunately, if you have already created one form recognizer for one resource and for one resource group and for one subscription, you might not be able to create one more form recognizer under the same resource group and the same subscription. Or so that's one problem. So as a result, consequently, your costs could go up as more and more you are going to call the document intelligence. So that is one problem. Another is what both provides option to add custom fields to your models, as we have seen that, like, you have created your own defined currency field and you have trained the model. You can also your app, both your AI model app as well as form recognizer app, can both of them is capable of detecting the default fields on its own, and this is both of them is having this capability. Another is, document intelligence is accessed as an endpoint URL, which you need to call from your, say for example, logic apps, or you're calling from your Azure functions by passing on the OCP API subscription. Otherwise, it will give access error. Whereas Power Apps AI are pretty straightforward. You can Power Apps AI models are pretty straightforward. You can directly call them from your Canvas apps directly. This is not required. Any kind of authentication is not required. Let me run the app quickly now, and I will show you how this upload happens. So now I have already been able to scan the contents of my file. So I will upload it. The moment it gets uploaded, it will be showing me a prompt like uploaded successfully, and this purchase order, this document is going to be attached across a purchase order called with the name 00036. Okay, so this is basically here, this one. So if I just refresh this, and in the meanwhile, let me switch you back to my Power Apps, which I just created here. So you see it's saying the upload completed. So if I close this, this pop-up will go. So if I have already reloaded this page, so if I come back to here, and if I see like this attachment is showing as one, so if I'm clicking on this attachment, it's showing like the details of it. So here also it is giving a preview of the document that I have attached. So it's quite simple, as I will show you how this has been done. So let me close this and reopen this. So you see here in the upload, this is a button where I am calling a Power Apps V2 attached to PO. So what is this? This is nothing but my Power Apps. I mean, it's a Power Automate. It's a flow. So let me call the flow from here. Let me show you the flow. So this is the flow. Okay. So if I show you, if I click on this, and if I click on edit, if I click on the get details, I will show you what is it doing exactly step by step. And this is my flow, which basically is very simple. It simply is calling or getting the contents of my perch ID. This perch ID, I'm obviously, as you can understand, I'm getting it from the from my Power Apps AI model. And the image content is basically the base 64, which I will show you how is it happening, how is it getting it. And legal entity is the legal entity which I have chosen from the Canvas app. So this three variables I'm getting from my Power Apps, caller Power Apps, and in the next, I'm basically getting the file content. I'm declaring a variable called file content, which is a very simple string, which is getting the image content as this image content. I'm passing it on and storing it as a variable. This is not exactly what's required. I'm just using this for my own, for my own good. And in here in the next step, I'm basically calling the HTTP AD token. I'm getting the token, as you can understand, by calling the Microsoft's tenant. I'm passing on the tenant ID, I'm passing on the client ID, I'm passing on the secret. All these details I'm basically passing it on, and then I am getting the tenant ID from here, and then I'm parsing the tenant from here. Absolutely, you can understand, like basically it is getting the access token from the above step. And then in the next step, I am simply calling this endpoint, which is this OData, purchase order header document attachments. If I call this, and I can pass on these variables called, the legal entity, which I've got from the Power Apps. Document ID, I'm generating a GUID, which is this GUID is internally is going to be created to this table. And I am basically in the next step, I'm calling the file name, which basically I've kept it as Perch ID, which you can definitely give a meaningful file name when you are going to do this operation. Attachment description, I'm giving attachment, then the Perch ID, which also you can give a meaningful attachment description as per your convenience. Purchase order number, I am passing on the purchase ID, which I have getting from the Power Apps. And lastly, the attachment is a file content, which is a variable which I have defined in my one of my previous steps out here. So once this is done, I am passing on a condition. If this is the status is 201, which is accepted, which is basically which means my attachment got correctly attached to the desired purchase order record. It is going to respond to a Power Apps flow like saying that completed, and if it fails, it should be able to give a status as failed. So this is very simple, Power Apps to calling up flow, and this flow is doing what I'm closing this flow and going back to my Power Apps upload. So I am showing that the Power Apps v2 dot attach po. Inside this, I am passing on the receipt number, which is nothing but the purchase ID, this one. Okay, so this is the txt receipt number. I am passing on the receipt numbers text value, and in the next value, I am this part is tricky, this part is quite, you need to understand what is actually happening. So as I was saying, this is a base 64 string. So you can see, like this, see, it is basically coming as data colon image, then jpg, then base 64, then slash. This content, this part of the result, this part of the response, I need to remove. So what I'm doing is that I'm replacing this part as empty string. Okay, so that's why I'm saying substitute with empty string. And because I don't need this to pass on to my flow while attaching it to my finance and operations. It's very simple. And lastly, I am passing on the selected text as value for this legal entity. This is very simple, as you can understand, that I'm just getting hold of the legal entity via what you have selected, and I'm then passing it on. And I am getting the value of the status from the returned variable from my flow, and setting it up in a local variable called status. So this local variable is doing what? It's very simple. If I go back to my tree view, and if I go back, take you back to my container results, to inside this container results, I have my a button called button close, and a result called LBL result. It's obviously, as you can understand, it's a basically a label file which is showing as upload completed, and whole of this container is visible only when visible is only when if status is equal to completed, then only it should come, else it should always remain as invisible. So that's very simple. Okay, and if I see button close on on its clicked event, on its select event, I've set status is equal to empty, set content true, set content false, which you already have seen in one of my previous episodes, which is nothing but resetting the contents of the different controls. So I can go out here and go to straight to results. In the reset button, in the reset event, I've said that's content, and for this controls reset event also, I have given this as content. Like that, I have specified like which are the controls that you need to clean off when you have clicked on the close button. On the close button, whenever you are going to click on this, what are the what are the controls you need to clean off. I have mentioning this. So that's it. That's a very simple example of leveraging AI models in Power Apps. This is just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg. You can go to a great deeper context. Say for example, you can create the purchase order itself. Why I'm basically creating the purchase order? Why not? Why I'm basically attaching the purchase order? Why not creating the purchase order itself? Why not creating a sales order itself from a receipt? Why not creating a invoice from the invoice receipt itself, and then uploading it across the necessary record. So this is one example of leveraging AI models, training them with the data, and then finally utilizing them in Power Apps. With that, I'm concluding this topic, and let me go to the next one, which is also a very interesting one, which is basically talking about Power Apps Plan Designers. Power Apps Plan Designers are, in fact, recently added feature to Microsoft Power Apps Purview. So it's a Copilot first development tool, and to quickly create comprehensive business solutions. You can describe your business problems in natural languages, and you can provide relevant images, informations such as business process flows or screenshots of legacy apps also. And the plan is going to generate a complete Power Platform solution tailored to your needs, including database tables, Canvas apps, model-driven apps, and suggested Power Automate flows. So, in order to leverage this, you have to try the new Power Apps experience, and also you have to ensure that the instance where you are basically using this instance should be deployed in US. Otherwise, all the apps features might not be functioning for other geographic country areas. So I'm basically giving a problem statement like this: can you create a solution for me which should be, pardon my typo, be able to accept or collect RSVPs from employees sent by their managers, and attach them or upload them in SharePoint. So if I say hit enter, this is where the plan designer should get instigated. And let me hit enter, and then this is where my this is the name of this is employees RSVP managers. Like that, it has given a name to this solution, and what it is doing is that it is basically jotting out this problem solution. First of all, it is creating on its own the business problem, and then the purpose of this plan. What is this plan needed for? Who is involved? So the employees are involved, the manager is involved, and the administrator is involved, and all these things basically it is jotting out into three one problem solutions. Under that, there are three nodes attached to it, and the moment I'm going to confirm this, add these roles, it is going to create the data, the necessary data tables that are potentially be part of this solution, and it's going to create the RSVP request, response, SharePoint uploads, employee managers, all the tables that it thinks that it should be relevant for the solution. It's going to create for all these things for you. So, and then it is further processing the suggested tables. So this is going to take a while to create the tables, and you are going to once you are going to say like add these tables, it's going to create these tables to your Dataverse. But optionally, you can drop these tables even, and also you can create edit to alter the necessary, the business relations, the business needs, the problem statement. You can also alter them, and the moment you place add these tables, these are going to be created and deployed to your backend. So I'm creating these tables, and these are going to add these tables to your database. But obviously, like already we have some kind of an employee tables, some kind of a manager table, and some kind of an administrative table. If they are already present in your database, then no need to create. You can simply drop them later on. And so it is creating the user experiences. So these objects will address the needs of your users. So these are creating the RSVP support flow. So if you are if you're fine, if you're happy with till here, you can click on add this user experiences. It will it is saying congrats, you've accepted all the sections. When you are ready to select the sections, add on plus icon to to create and open each item. So you can now you are now ready with your application. So you can click on this and you can make your application be ready with the business plan designers. And let us wait till the save is completed. Then we should be finally able to see the solution that it has prepared. And with that, it has finally been able to save everything. And you can come down all the way down to the user experiences, where it has created all the necessary apps that it thinks that are related to this solution. And you can click on each of these plus icons, plus buttons, to see, to check out how the apps are looking like. So if I click on employee RSVP app, it's going to open this on a new window, on a new tab, and it's going to show you like the details of the RSVP, employee RSVP app. Let us open, let us wait for the time it opens up this application and see how it looks like. And this is how it looks like, the this application, the employee RSVP app, where the employees is there, RSVP requests are there, and the RSVP responses are there. And these are the different, the screens that are there. We can finally, you can also further drill them open and make your necessary changes. If you still think that this is somewhat not meet your expectations, you can change them. Likewise, here also there it is checking your the other user applications that it was showing in your preview of your employee RSVP manager, of your business planner. So there also you can click each and every one of them and find out like if things are fine. So and you can change or modify stuffs accordingly to make it much more convenient for your business need. So with that, I'm concluding this, and I would request you to deal through all the features of business planners, and let me know how you felt about this cool feature. So with that, let me before concluding today's session, I'm just taking you back to the virtual entities, and this is where we are going to wind up for today. With that, let me take you to Power Platform Admin Center. And this is my environment, which I have been using so long. And on one side, I have finance and operations, URL out here. And on another side, this is related to Dynamics CE. So if I click on this, I should be able to see these are the modules that are basically, the published apps rather, which are available as a part of Dynamics CE. So down here, I should be able to see something known as the Power Platform Environment settings. So if I click on this, it should be able to give me the all the administrative settings that are part of my application. So if I go here right on my left hand side to the administration, I should be able to see on the the different amalgamation of the different settings like auditing, auto numbering, calendars, and all these things. So first of all, I need to find out the virtual entity data sources that are available in my as a part of my application. So we all know what is a virtual entity. So virtual entity means essentially like I am not going to create any data. I'm not going to store any data in my dataverse, although this entity is going to reside in my dataverse. So as a result of which, if any data is there created from any source solution, even though the data is not residing in dataverse, the source solution can do any kind of crude operations, and that crude operations effects are going to slam down and be reflecting in my dataverse. So say for example, I am creating a service now table entity, virtual entity. So even though the data is not residing in my dataverse of this service now table, however, the entity is going to show me all the contents of my table data in my dataverse. Likewise, I can also configure my finance and operations out here. So if I click on finance and operations, I should be able to see all the finance and operations tables that are related, that are exposed as virtual entities, and I should be able to harness them. I should be able to use them in my Dataverse, even though I'm not storing the data in my Dataverse. So, if I click on this finance and operations, I should be able to see the initial details of it, like target URL is nothing but the base URL. So, auth URL is basically, you should not change this. You should keep this as is. Tenant ID you can get from your OData application registration that you are creating in your Microsoft Intra of Azure. Application ID you're also going to get from there. Secret also you're going to get from there. And the resource, this you should not change. This is the microservice of virtual entities. And these two are also, also hard coded. Also, you should not change them. So once this is done, you just save and close, and you come out of it. So when you have saved that, you are now good to go with virtual entities, leveraging virtual entities from finance and operations in Dynamics CE dataverses. So what I will do is that I will click on this advanced filter icon. So if I click on this, it should be able to open this prompt whereby I should be able to filter the available data sources which are exposed as virtual entities from Dynamics F&O. Okay, let us wait till this screen gets loaded up. And after a long wait, this pop-up comes up whereby you can select, available for finance and operations entities. And from here, we can select, the name contains instead of equals. I'm selecting contains, and I'm giving a name, a word like a keyword like this products. Okay, so I should be able to see all the entities, all the virtual entities that has the word products, or rather let us keep it product. And I'm going to click on this results icon. So it is going to do the filtration and it's going to show me all the data entities that are present there. And you see so many data entities have come up. So these are the data entities that are basically exposed from F&O, and these are all standard entities. So, and these are all made as kept as invisible. Visible equal to no. So in visible equal to no means that consequently, I won't be able to use them in Dataverse. So I have to enable them. I have to make them as visible. So in order to do that, if I click on production pool entity, let me see what happens now. So with this pop-up, I need to turn this as true and the change tracking as true. So change tracking means, the incremental data load is going to be recorded, and visible means, as like basically this is what is needed to make this data entity be available to Dataverse. So I can save and close this to make this use in future. It's going to take a while to complete the operation, after which you would see like this entity has been turned this to yes, as because of which you should now be able to use this entity in Dataverse, and you can create apps out of your Dataverse. And it's amazing, like you all whatever changes, that whatever records you're going to create in finance and operations, it will eventually be flowing down to Dataverse tables, and you are going to see them in your apps. The changes, you are going to see them in your apps. So that gives a very basic idea of what are virtual entities and how you can expose them. On the next episode onwards, we are going to dig down a little deep on this. And with that, I'm going to finish up today's session. And just in case, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please feel free to do so. And let me know how it went, how you felt about today's session. Try to do these exercises at your end, and just give me a nudge, just in case, if you need any help from me. And see you soon next week. Signing off, and take care and much love to all. Namaste, Subhashish.